I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, she likes men with confidence and drive. Well, I've got an email here from a viewer, and his girlfriend is basically telling him that he needs to man up and start acting like a man is supposed to act. And what's nice is she's being a good girlfriend, and she's willing to be patient and gently encourage him to do the things that he needs to do, because from what I'm reading here in his weak behavior, and for the most part, this dude does not act like a man is supposed to act. And we see that a lot in our society, especially when you look at the effect that the feminist movement has had with trying to make both sexes equal. At the end of the day, what actually causes members of the opposite sex to be attracted to one another is their differences. Like I say all the time, feminine energy is about opening up to receive love. Masculine energy is about purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers, achieving goals, that kind of thing. And when a woman is in her feminine energy, she's the most playful, she's going to be the sexiest and most desirable and appealing when she's in that state. When she's with a guy who forces her to move into her masculine to make up for the fact that he's basically being a weak bitch and not acting like a man, she tends to resent it. And when women move out of their natural feminine essence into their masculine essence, usually to make up for the fact that the guy that they're with is not acting like a man is supposed to act, because maybe he's probably watched too many movies and too many TV shows that show the guy always being afraid of his girlfriend or his wife and going out of his way, lying to her, bending himself into a pretzel, just doing whatever he can to try not to offend her and piss her off. And so what it ends up doing is it ends up producing a society with a bunch of guys that act like fucking beta males instead of acting the way men are supposed to act. And I've got a couple quotes that I'd like to talk about, because I think it's so on point with this discussion. And the first one is by Marcus Aurelius. And he says, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." And another one is the quote I want to share with you. This is by Marcus Luttrell in Lone Survivor. And what I love about this quote is he's sharing, obviously from his perspective, what a Navy SEAL focuses on in trying to be a better teammate and a better warrior. But at the end of the day, what he's really describing is what all men should really be focused on, and that is your own weaknesses and trying to become a better man, to act more alpha, and to act more like a man is supposed to act. Because at the end of the day, men are, as far as the relationships go, are supposed to gently lead the interaction to where they want it to go. And anytime a guy basically turns to the woman and puts his balls in a box and says, "Please make the choices, please make the decisions," that's why she's going to shove it back to him and say, I don't want to do this. She won't say it in that way, but she'll just come back with a response of, when he says, "Well, what do you want to do?" And she say, "I don't know, what do you want to do?" And that's why she'll keep throwing it back in the man's lap, is because she wants him to make the decision, because at the end of the day, he's the man and he's supposed to do those things. Women want to just show up, look hot, be entertained, have a great time, and be seduced. They want to receive you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. I mean, they're designed to receive a man. And so if you want a woman to be turned on and really attracted to you, you have to act like a man is supposed to act. You have to embody the qualities of masculinity that a man is supposed to embody. And the second quote that I want to read from Marcus Luttrell, he says, "The real battle is won in the mind. It's won by guys who understand their area of weakness." Part of becoming successful or improving yourself is first identifying areas that you're weak or areas that you need to grow in. And obviously, if you're watching my video, you're here probably because you basically have a knowledge gap in how you're supposed to show up in ways that create attraction when interacting with women. So the first is to recognize, obviously, that what you're doing is not working, because after all, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And so if you're here and you realize that there's some things that you need to work on and improve, awesome, because that's the first step. And he says, so after he says it's won by guys who understand their area of weakness, who sit around and think about it plotting and planning to improve. I fucking love that. He says, attending to the detail. They work on their weaknesses and overcome them because they can. I love that. If you haven't read Marcus Luttrell's book, Lone Survivor, it's just one of the most harrowing accounts of never giving up and surviving and persevering when you should be just giving up and dying, in essence. And this guy had so many reasons to give up, and he fucking did. And I'm just so inspired by his story and the way he thinks, and partially because I had a couple of high school buddies that became SEALs afterwards, and they were great guys, very tough guys. One of them was one of the most humble guys that you ever meet in your life, and unfortunately we lost him 20 years ago, and he was just one of the kindest, nicest guys that I've ever known in my life. And so I'm going to read this email here by this viewer. He says, "Hey coach, last night my girlfriend told me that I'm kind of nerdish and that I should act like a man when I need to. I asked her what she meant, which is a great question, because the quality of your life and your relationships is in direct proportion to the quality of the questions that you consistently ask yourself, or in this particular case, the person you're in a relationship with." And so he says, I asked her what she meant. Great question to ask. And she told me that I give up too easily. In other words, you're not a challenge. You're like Gumby. In other words, when she pushes on you to see what you're made of, you go along with what it is that she wants, even if it's not what she knows that you want. Because women can sense when a guy is going along with something that they don't really want to in order to please them or to placate them, or if you watch too many sitcoms, to keep from pissing the woman off and cause her to become all bitchy and out of control, like you see in pretty much every hit sitcom. That's what the guys are doing. They're cowering in fear of the women. And when you think about all the children that are growing up and watching this false archetype, it's fucking weak ass, needy, beta male behavior, and it's not how men act in the real world. At least men that are successful with women don't act that fucking way. She also says to him that, he says, I don't try my best to succeed at things and I'm unsure of myself. Well, the very nature of being unsure of yourself is feminine energy. It's a feminine quality. And your girl is totally calling you out, and she's being sweet about it because she could be a total asshole about it, and she's not. She's basically point blank calling you out and saying, she's calling into question your man card. He says, she told me that she likes a man with confidence and drive. And just like what I said. In other words, what she's saying is, I like a man who actually embodies what a man embodies. Which, I mean, think about it. When it comes to having sex, you can't penetrate a woman when you're impotent. And obviously you can't succeed in the world if you're impotent in your purpose, in your mission, in your drive in life. And so, in other words, she's basically saying that you're not driving forward like a man should. You're in essence giving up when you should be moving towards your goals and your dreams without fear, even when you have setbacks. And what she's saying is that you're giving up, and in essence you're acting like a weak man. You're acting like a guy. You're exhibiting the patterns that are patterns of men who are not only unsuccessful with women, but they're unsuccessful in life at accomplishing their goals and their dreams. And when a woman sees that, she starts to doubt his masculine core. She starts to doubt that, what if she was ever in any real physical danger? Could you protect her? Would you protect her? Or would you just cower in fear and haul ass and leave your girl to the bad guys to do what they want with her? Something to think about. He says, I'm currently unemployed. I'm continuing my studies next year, and I've been looking for a job, but I haven't succeeded yet. Well, if you Google Corey Wayne, how to get any job you want, that is the best advice. If you employ that strategy, I promise you, you will get the kind of job that you want, because it's always worked for me when I was looking for jobs years ago. And over the past 20-something years, I've taught that strategy to dozens of my friends and family over the years and thousands of my clients. And it always works every time. He says, she has a point, and she's revealed a great truth that I haven't really realized until now. Well, it sounds like you got a good woman on your hands. That's why I say all the time, the purpose of all relationships is you go there to give. You're there to help each other grow and become more. And she's doing that. She loves you and she obviously cares about you, and she's gently helping you move in the direction that you really need to move in as a man in order to be more successful. She sees your weaknesses in a loving way. She's gently guiding you to become the man that you're capable of. That's the whole purpose of being in a relationship. She's calling you to be at your very best. She's calling you to step up, to become the man that you're really, truly capable of being. This is what men and women do in relationships. They're there to help each other grow and become more. You're there to help each other. You're there to meet each other's needs. Not only sexually, but physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. All your life goals, you're supposed to achieve them together as a team. He says, I want to make her happy and have her feel safe with me. How can I develop the characteristics of an alpha male? Well, do more manly things. Get focused on your career and your mission in life. Employ some of the things that I talk about in the article that I wrote, How to Get Any Job You Want. If you're not really sure what your purpose is in life, you've got to do something. If you want to be great at something, just like Steve Jobs said, he was so spot on about this. He said, if you really want to do great work in life, you have to do something that you love, because it's when times get tough and they get really difficult, if you've chosen something that you don't have a burning desire for or a passion for, you'll just give up when it gets hard because you really don't have the drive or the desire to do it. Just like I talk about the life coaching business I have, or when I was in the real estate, mortgage, and construction industry years ago. I had a burning desire to do that stuff, and that's why I was so successful. I mean, making money is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. Well, as being an entrepreneur, the 20% of the mechanics, the figuring out of your business model, what it is you do, your value proposition, and how you add value to people's lives and how you earn money or earn revenue from that, that's usually the hardest part. But the psychology, if your psychology isn't there, in other words, if you don't believe you deserve to make the kind of money you want to make, if you don't think that you have what it takes, that's going to affect your ability to achieve and succeed in life. Because our two primary fears are fear that we're not enough and fear that we won't be loved. And so that's why it's so important to choose something that you really have a passion for. Because when you feel like giving up and you ask yourself, well, what would I do if I could do anything else? You won't be able to come up with an answer. Because nothing will be more appealing, emotionally appealing to you or emotionally compelling to you than something that you have a burning desire to do, something that you have a passion for, something that is exciting to you, the kind of thing that you're so curious about that you do it for free just because you love it. So you want to know what it takes to be more alpha, just like your girl said. She said she likes a man with confidence and drive. So pursue your passion in life. Pursue what you're curious about. Even if you don't know what your purpose is in life yet, move in the direction and explore things that you're curious about, that you feel good about, that maybe you have a hobby. Look at the kind of magazines that you read. Look at the kind of television programs that you watch just in your spare time that you enjoy. Your purpose will be giving you clues in that area. Just like Steve Jobs said, you must follow your heart, your curiosity, and your intuition, because they somehow already know what you want to become. Something to think about. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 or 2 paragraphs maximum, and just give me several weeks to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.